In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, the tension, the mental stress, and the anger have become very common nowadays. It wasn't like that in the older times, or maybe it was. We don't need to go. But the trouble is that as far today's human beings are concerned, today's humans are really, they are found tense for most of the time. These human beings are found angry quite usually. As far the anger is concerned, as far the mental stress is concerned, as far this tension is concerned, excuse me, it has become common, and it has become very common. Every now and then we are found feeling anger and jealousy, and we are found taking tension, and this thing has actually troubled us a lot. It is troubling us a lot. It is spoiling our physical health, it is spoiling our mental health, and it is spoiling our relationships as well. It is spoiling so much of the work it has been. It is creating a kind of downgrade among in the quality of our work, in the quantity of our work. It is spoiling our life. Believe me or not, it has become one of the biggest problems of today's human being. It is not, I'm not saying that it is not necessarily the biggest one, but let me tell you with enough amount of confidence that it is at least one of the biggest problems today's human being, the people in our society are facing. And that is the reason we need to do something. We need to take it seriously. We need to do something to somehow to take certain precautionary measures. We need to understand. After all, why do we feel angry? After all, why do we feel mental stress? Why do we feel tension? Because the tension is actually spoiling our life. A very learned friend of mine, Kamar Iqbal Sufi, who is a famous writer and speaker, he says that whatever wrong is happening in your life, if at all your life is going to be spoiled, it will be only because of the mental stress. So many of the human being is a very strong human being, but as far this mental stress is concerned, as far this tension is concerned, as far this anger is concerned, it is something which is a very common nowadays. On the one hand, on the other hand, it is creating a lot of trouble. It is spoiling our life, and it is keeping us unhappy. Dear friends and fellows, we need to understand. After all, why do we feel angry on the one hand? On the other hand, we need to understand what can we do to prevent it. What can we do to preempt it, so that our health does not get affected, does not get negatively affected because of this anger, because of this tension. Dear friends, dear friend, when somebody is found behaving, when somebody is found talking against our wishes, obviously we do feel upset, we do feel unhappy, we do feel some sort of mental stress. When somebody does not come up to our expectations, once we are expecting a kind of reasonable behavior from someone else, but they fail to do that, what does happen? We feel angry and we feel tense, and once we are in the anger, we will be responding, we will be found responding again in a negative manner, in a bad manner, which will make the other person angry as well, or at least it will not be good at all for us, because it will disturb so many of the things. So we need to preempt it every time, and every time when somebody is treating us in a bad manner, when somebody does not come up to our expectation, when somebody smashes our hopes towards that person, what is happening then? We will feel angry and tense. The trouble with the human being is that each and everybody was given a kind of different mind and brain by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. whatever mind we are having, whatever mind other people are having, all of this mind and brain was given and gifted to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this mind is different, my mind is different, your mind is different as well. So the mind of each and everybody, so the brain of each and everybody is different from the rest of the people. So on the one hand, this is a very important factor. On the other hand, there is another very important factor, and this important factor is that we, the kind of circumstances, the kind of situation we people had faced in our life, it is different from the rest of the people. If at all, the two basic things, one is the brain, the other is the kind of circumstances, if at all it is different from that of the other people. So my behavior, my actions, my talking, my reactions will be different from the other people automatically. And we need to understand that the mind, I did not create my mind, you did not create your mind, other people did not create their mind. The kind of circumstances, the kind of situation, the kind of happening, the kind of experiences which were done by the other people, it is different from each other. Because even if there are two twin brothers who were born at the same time from the same parents, I think there too they will be behaving in a different manner quite often. Why do they behave in a different manner compared to each other? Because they were having a different minds on the one hand, and despite being born together, they people will be having this different circumstances and situations. And if at all the two of these twin brothers, if at all they don't behave in a similar manner, so how come the other people can? If at all somebody does not come up to our expectation, if at all somebody has caused some sort of frustration to us, so instead of feeling angry, instead of feeling tense, what we need to do is that we need to look upon their circumstances, we need to think about their mind, the brain. We need to remember that the kind of brain they were having was a different from that of mine on the one hand, and also the way the way they lived their life, the way they were experiencing the thing, it was also different from that of mine. So if at all somebody is behaving in a different manner, if at all somebody is treating me in a different manner, I think it should not be considered wrong and it should not be considered bad. That is something which is called empathy, and we need to empathize. Being mean empathy, we need to empathize each other, particularly once we are feeling angry, once we are feeling tense. So instead of blaming other person, instead of feeling angry over the other people, we need to understand that the kind of brain he she was having, the kind of experiences he she had undergone, all of that was different from that of mine. And it was different because of the different, because of the so many differences. I think we need to empathize, and empathy is the solution. Empathy is the solution of many problems. We need to empathize. Once we do start empathizing, and once we do it very frequently, let me tell you and let me assure you with enough amount of confidence that as far our anger is concerned, the anger will be evaporated. As far our tension is concerned, the tension will be gone, and we will be feeling normal, and feeling normal, not having the tension, not having the anger. I think it is a great mental state. We need to pray from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, do give me a situation like this one, or at least make me an empathizer. We need to do the empathize, we need to empathize, and we need to do the empathizes. We need to be an empathizer. We need to empathize, because once we do that, all the anger and the tension will be evaporated, and we will become a normal human being. Once the anger is gone, once the mental stress is gone, I think so we will be able to win the hearts and the minds of the people. And I think it is really something great.